Okay, I know it's been a minute, and I apologize, but we're back in full swing. Hello everybody, I am Champion Productions, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Sabers Pro Grand Inquisitor neopixel lightsaber. Now, if you are interested in acquiring a saber like this from Sabers Pro, they've got a ton of different options to choose from. They've got baselit, they've got like different designs, they've got everything. They've got everything. So go check them out, and if you happen to find something you really like, you think, man, I really want that, add it to your cart, and at checkout, use promo code CHAMPSABERS10 and save yourself 10% at checkout. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and kick off the review. Now, setting the saber off to the side momentarily. With the box, what you get is kind of what you see here. You have a display stand, which is a nice acrylic stand, very durable. My one big issue, and I'll kind of get into this here in a second, with the stand is that it doesn't really suit the saber itself, but again, I'll get into that momentarily. You get a tool for installing your blade and everything with the screws. Speaking of which, you get 2 bags of screws, so you have more than enough to do whatever you need to do with the saber. You get 2 blade plugs. You get a USB stick. You get your owner's manual, you get your charging cable, and you get 2... I'm getting it, hang on. Come here. Come here. Come here. You get 2 neopixel lightsaber blades, and they do have little blade caps on the end of them, so you don't really have to worry about them getting dirty or anything. I'm going to set these off to the side, and we're going to kind of put everything back and kind of set all this off to the side momentarily. And then we'll bounce back to the saber. So bringing the saber back into frame here, this is the Grand Inquisitor by Sabers Pro. This is obviously the Grand Inquisitor's lightsaber from Star Wars. Now, build-wise, solid. It's all chunky metal. It has a beautiful weight in hand. All the functions and everything are just on point. The speaker in this thing is phenomenal, and I'll get into all that here in a little bit. Now, talking about the cosmetics of the saber for a moment, we can see here beautiful chrome work. I mean, this thing is just decked out in this amazing chrome top to bottom. And the cool thing is the ring can actually fold in on itself, so you can get that kind of more of like a, I forget what the proper term is, but you kind of get like a wrist guard in a way, which I really do like. I think that looks really cool and exposes these little spikes here. Just a really cool looking saber. And you've got a little strip of lighting here. We'll touch on that here in a little while when we get the saber actually lit up and everything. But one of my big things about the cosmetics of this saber is it's definitely more of a showpiece and cosplay piece than it is a dueling saber. So kind of keep that in mind when you consider this saber for purchase, because it is, again, very nice, very flashy. But I don't know how well you can see this thing on camera, but it picks up fingerprints like there is no tomorrow. And, you know, it's easy to wipe off. You know, you just kind of take a piece of fabric and, you know, wipe it off here. And it cleans right up, very easy, but it also picks up fingerprints very easily. So, you know, just kind of keep that in mind when you're thinking about this saber. Now, getting the saber prepped for use is pretty straightforward. Obviously, we have the optional blade plugs, which are available as well. They can go in either ends of the emitter. They just slide in and you attach the screws. I obviously go for the double-bladed effect, and we just use the tool that is provided with the saber itself, and we get out some of these shorter screws. There are 2 types of screws in this pack. There are shorter screws, and then there are longer screws, which I get the shorter screws because there are various different holes right underneath the emitter of the saber that those screws will insert to. And what I do personally is I take the screw, attach it to the tool, and then line it up with the screw hole and drop it in. I twist it just a couple twists just to get it in, just like so, and that's what's called setting up the screw. So we'll do that, and we'll do it a couple different times. Okay, so now that we've got the screws prepped, we can go ahead and set one blade plug off to the side. We're going to insert this one just for demonstration purposes. You slide it in, hold it in place. It's going to have a little bit of spring tension to it. hold that bad boy down and tighten these screws. You don't really have to tighten these as much. You can kind of just do a loose fit because this is not really supporting all that much weight. Essentially what a blade plug does is it just makes the saber look flashy when it's on display, and you can still get some of the effects coming through the end of the emitter when the saber is active. Now we're going to grab a blade, take the blade cap off, and we're going to insert it. It's going to be the same story, you're just doing it with the blade. You're going to insert it, there's going to be a little bit of spring tension there, you're going to grab it, pinch it, and then start tightening these screws. Now these you're going to want to add a little bit of tension to, because this is actually going to be taking the brunt force of all the swinging, the combat, all that good stuff. Which, cool thing about this saber is that it is definitely dual worthy. I have multiple Sabers Pro lightsabers, and all of them do extremely well with kind of lightsaber combat and dueling and stuff like that. But just like that, not sure that's the proper way to word that. Effortlessly, there we have both the blade and the blade plug installed for all extensive purposes of demonstration. Now, let me show you how to activate the saber. Activation of the saber is pretty straightforward. I am going to fold the ring in half just for this little segment here. You have a little button right here on the hilt. Press and hold it until it says power on. Now the cool thing about this saber is that it is Bluetooth compatible. There's an app you can download that is available to both Android and iPhone alike. It's completely free, and you pair it to the saber from your phone, and you can control literally every feature the saber has to offer from your phone. And the advantage of that is that you don't have to manually switch all the different settings from this little button right here. You pull up your phone, you pull up the blade settings options, and you've got everything at the tip of your finger, and it's just super convenient. But obviously there's nothing wrong with manually going through the saber. It's just another bonus option with this lightsaber, which I think adds to the premium affair of things with this saber, because this is definitely a premium piece. But to activate it, you simply press and hold the button, power on, and then tap it again to ignite the blade. And there we have the Grand Inquisitor all set up. And we can see where this little slit here comes into play. It actually has LEDs in the hilt that reflect whatever's going on with the blade, which I think is insane. I love the way that looks, because the blade here is kind of like a crackly, unstable-ish type blade, and it reflects in the hilt here, which I think looks phenomenal. And as you can see here, with the blade plug, you kind of get that same effect going on that you see within the blade. So that's kind of the purpose of the blade plug, showing you what that looks like and showing what purpose it serves. But I think it's just about time that we take it out and test it. Okay, so I'm now in a larger room in a more open area, because you're definitely going to need it. You kind of need it with one blade, but when you get two blades going, it kind of gets a little bit tall, long, however you'd use to describe it. But you can see this thing is incredibly bright. I mean, it lights up this entire room, no real issue. And you can see, once you learn how to wield it, you can use it, but you definitely have to learn the ergonomics of the handle here. Oh, that's flashy. I like that. Now, I will say, the Grand Inquisitor's lightsaber design is naturally done in red. It has a red blade, but I can't help but like this saber with the more Jedi-ish colors, like green and blue and yellow and stuff like that. I don't know, I think it looks fancy.
The Senate.
Oh, I like that.
The princess.
The amount of detail that the saber captures too within the blade, like this is the fire blade, for example, and I know it's very hard to see the full thing, but it looks very cool.
Steady. Broken ignition. Unstable. Rainbow blade.
Come on. There we go. Like, all that detail that the saber does actually manage to, like, display. Very good LED work in the blade itself.
Photon ignition. Candy blade. Cracked blade.
And the ignitions are spot on as well. Like, it's got some of the coolest ignitions I've ever seen.
Ignition.
Ooh.
Laser ignition.
That blue is crisp. Oh my word. That's nice. And now just kind of wrapping things up in the review studio. To turn the saber off, you press and hold the power button until it says power off.
The night. Power off.
And the saber will, in fact, power off. So that has been my review of the Grand Inquisitor lightsaber from Sabers Pro. A phenomenal piece, incredibly large piece. It's huge. So it is very, very nice. I will say, obviously, I have my critiques with it, but if you're a Star Wars fan and you like the Grand Inquisitor, or you're just a fan of the Inquisitors from Star Wars in general, this is an easy piece to add to your collection. It's absolutely phenomenal. The chrome work and everything is beautiful. Keep in mind, you're going to have to clean it constantly to keep the fingerprints off of it. But, I mean, it is genuinely an amazing piece. Well built, sturdy. All the electronics work beautifully on it. The controls and everything, easy to use. It is a phenomenal piece. It can handle dueling. Do with it what you like. You know, it's one of those things, if you want to duel with it, you can, but it's going to be a lot more difficult to win fights with this saber. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed my review of the Sabers Pro Grand Inquisitor. If you want to check it out, or you want to go check out Sabers Pro website, I will have, of course, the link in the description box below, so go check them out because they got a ton of cool stuff. And again, if you add anything to cart before you check out, add that promo code CHAMPSABERS10 and save yourself 10% at checkout. But guys, that's all for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, be sure to leave a like. Comment what you thought of the saber in the comment section below. I want to hear what you guys have to think because, quite frankly, there are a lot of cool lightsaber designs out here, and this one seems to be a fan favorite. So I'm curious what you guys have to say. So that's all for me. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. Champer Productions signing off.